Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Inside Golf. I'm Harry Donahue. Today, we'll tell the inspirational story of Patrick Molloy. Patrick was born blind, but developed a love for the game of golf. He did it with the help of his parents, obviously, but also the Philadelphia Section PGA of America and the Mid-Atlantic Blind Golfers Association. It's a story that is worth telling time after time because it involves a young blind man and the help he got to enjoy the game that he has come to love. The story of Patrick Molloy coming up next right here on Inside Golf. Inside Golf, presented by Destination Montco Golf. 54 courses, 300,000 yards. Check them out at montcogolf.com. By Jersey Man Magazine, it's a Jersey way of life, and Philly Man Magazine, bringing it to Broad Street. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf.
I knew I wanted to be like my dad and be a PGA member. Following him around as a kid, I would get to see the players. I didn't really know them, but they knew me because I was Davis's son. You know, we lost him too early. Coming up the 18th fairway at Winged Foot, knowing that I'd won the PGA Championship, and then to see the rainbow, and everybody associated that rainbow with my dad watching over me. I'd like to thank him for just instilling in me what it means to be a professional and be a PGA member.
The best stories end in thanks. Share your story at ThanksPGAPro.com.
The First Tee teaches you golf, but they also teach you life skills. We learn things you can use everywhere, every day.
Like how to meet people you don't know. I'm Nicholas.
It comes in handy on your first day of school.
Or interviewing for a job.
Thank you.
Some of the best golf lessons have very little to do with golf. The life skills young people learn at the First Tee stay with them long after they leave. Visit thefirsttee.org to learn more.
Hi, I'm Janie. Let's play some golf.
Welcome back to Inside Golf and the story of Patrick Molloy. It all begins with Patrick's association with Norman Kritz. Norman Kritz was the founder of the Mid-Atlantic Blind Golfers Association. In fact, Norman also developed a 9-hole chip and putt course at the Overbrook School for the Blind in Philadelphia. Patrick loves the game, and he also, through Norman, hooked up with some local Philadelphia Section PGA of America professionals. It's an amazing story with lessons for not just a blind golfer like Patrick Molloy, but lessons for us all.
I met Norman Kritz when I was about 18 years old. I was an assistant golf professional at Pennsauken Country Club. Norman had come over, he had played at the golf course. I'd known him, but he came over one day and asked if I wouldn't mind helping with regripping some golf clubs for him for a junior program that he has for blind golfers.
My first involvement with the Mid-Atlantic Blind Golf Association was about 19 years ago when I was doing a golf clinic at the Widener School in Philadelphia. I asked Gil to be a target so that children there who were physically and mentally challenged could see that a blind guy could hit the golf ball.
We had an ongoing relationship, and he gave me a call and asked if our foundation with the section would help out with his junior golf program. And now we're 6 years later into a fantastic relationship with Norman and Gil and everybody at Mid-Atlantic Blind Golfers Association and their junior programs.
And I remember discussing it with Al Balukas a number of times. He says that the idea is fantastic. He says if you take one child and it helps that one child, the whole program is worthwhile.
My grandfather was one of those golfers who would be out there as early as you could open the course. Afterward, he would come to our house and tell stories from his round. The shots he'd hit, the holes he'd played well, and what it all looked like. As a little kid listening to those stories, I was fascinated by the game.
I guess Patrick just heard these stories and it sounded like, like who wouldn't love it? And Eileen was looking at a newsletter one day and there was a 3-sentence line in there that said, Mid-Atlantic Blind Golf is looking for junior members. Give us a call, we'll get you hooked up with a PGA professional. Eileen mentioned it to Patrick and said, do you think this would be something you're interested in? Not ever dreaming that he would say yes. And Patrick jumped on it. He was like, yeah, I'd love to golf. You called Norman Kritz.
Norm and Gil were two of the first guys who really got me into golf. The two of them run the Mid-Atlantic Junior Blind Golf Association.
I gave Patrick his first set of clubs in New Hope, Pennsylvania when he was, I think, 8.5 or 9 years old. I guess when he first started, he was a little hesitant about swinging because of his balance. But as his coach, who was a professional, worked with him constantly, I saw the improvement. And I would guess in 3 or 4 years, his swing reminded me of Phil Mickelson's swing. But he also has that same smile on his face.
Norm Kritz and Gil Kaysen started sending me junior golfers that were wanting to learn golf.
Gil and Norm and Al were able to pair me up with Dave Smith.
I called Dave out of the blue. Dave, I got a blind golfer, a little junior that wants to learn how to play golf. Dave was very enthused about it. Dave started teaching him.
Now, you know, if you like him 5 feet, that ain't bad. His mom brought him over for the first lesson. It was stifling heat. It was like, I mean, it had to be like 95 degrees.
In the shade.
Yeah, in the shade, absolutely. And relatively, it had to be over 100. And I kept Patrick out there for 45 minutes trying to get him to chip this golf ball. And I said to myself, I don't think Eileen's ever bringing him back.
He thought, oh, they're done. And Patrick was like, at the end, okay, what time next weekend? And we were there every weekend.
We worked so hard. I said, I don't, you know, think this will continue. And to make a long story short, well, that was what, 12? How long ago was that?
Yeah, 11, 12 years ago now.
And then one day he puts them in a cart and says, okay, you know, this is real golf. This is what we've been working towards. And they go out there and Patrick gets stuck in a fairway trap. And I mean, and he is stuck. He's stuck like tin cup stuck. Like one ball can't get out, another ball can't get out. You know, he's like on his 5th or 6th ball and I'm thinking, whoa. And Dave says to Patrick, you know, we don't have to do this. You know, we didn't really practice this. How about if we just take this ball out of here, throw it in the fairway, and we'll finish the hole? And, you know, it's good. And Patrick's like, no. He's like, I'm going to be a golfer. I need to learn how to do this. Next one, he gets it out, puts it up into the fairway, right below the hole. I mean, it was like the perfect golf shot. And Patrick says, I knew I could do it. Later, I'm talking to Dave, and Dave said, you know, he taught me a lesson about perseverance, you know, about that he's got this drive and desire. And I thought, boy, it could do nothing but serve him well, because as a blind person, I mean, that you have to have perseverance.
You know, it's really just you against the sport, or you against the challenge, and I think golf is a really demanding sport. But then all of a sudden you see these kids with some challenges, and they succeed. You know, they succeed because of their own perseverance.
The children will get tremendous amount of pleasure out of playing. It will help them mentally and physically. But you know who will get tremendous pleasure and be very rewarding? The parents themselves, to see their children participating like every other child, sighted or unsighted. I know myself, I know how I would feel, and I can tell you this, it's the most wonderful feeling you could possibly have.
It's something I remember. I remember these kids for what they smile about when they hit that golf ball. And then I look at the parents' face and it's the same smile. And it transfers to me. And I take it home with me every night.
Stay with us, more to come here on Inside Golf and the story of Patrick Molloy and what he's doing to help other blind golfers.
At the first tee, they're teaching us how to set goals. It doesn't matter how big or small they are.
I want to break 80 someday.
My goal is to go to college.
Someday, I'm going to be the 4th female president of the United States. Maybe 5th.
Some of the best golf lessons have very little to do with golf. The life skills young people learn at the First Tee stay with them long after they leave. Visit thefirsttee.org to learn more.
One of my goals is to get on TV. Check.
Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, published by former Eagles tight end Ken Dunek, is everything you want in a publication catering to men's interest. Enjoy articles on politics, business, the mob, wine, food, fitness, and travel. Written by the likes of George Anastasia, Bill Lyon, Sam Carchidi, and Mike Kern. Want to grow your business? Ask for information on our Legacy and Chairman Clubs. They meet regularly and can be a valuable tool for your company. Subscriptions are only $20 a year for 6 issues. They're available at Jersey Man golffanmagazine.com. Welcome back to Inside Golf as we continue with the story of Patrick Molloy and how Patrick today is helping to give back with the Mid-Atlantic Blind Golfers Association. In fact, he's not only giving back, but he's also helping to teach the game to fellow blind golfers.
I've found that the best way to overcome the misperceptions and misconceptions that others have is to always work hard, do my best, and prove that just because I can't see, I'm no less capable than anyone else.
We've been out there on days when it's just really tough to swing a golf club, and you know, he'll say, oh, it was a tough round today, but it'll be better tomorrow, and he'll put that smile on his face and he'll go back out tomorrow.
I think the sport of golf is a great one for blind people. There are going to be good days, and there are also going to be days when you'll feel like you've never had a club in your hands before. And I think so much of what you learn in golf, be that persistence or patience or optimism, you can just carry that through to your day-to-day life.
It's a place that he's happy at. It's a place that he's able to be successful at. It's a place that he's able to teach other children and other people that he shouldn't be defined by his disability, that he should be judged on his talents.
When you're practicing, start from where your ball is and walk off to the hole, and as you walk, count your steps.
He is the pattern to follow. You know, he is the young man that's now come back and is now a mentor to the kids running through the program.
He's taught golf in the inner city. He, brings many of the lessons from golf to life.
Golf is a tough game. There's no question about that. And sometimes you'll be playing really well, and other times you'll be stuck in a sand trap or stuck on the edge of a creek, and you'll be hitting ball after ball and they won't be going where you want them. And most people would just give up. But the lesson to take away is, okay, this is difficult, but there is a way to overcome this.
George is, in my eyes, the future of the Mid-Atlantic Junior Blind Golf Association. He's a young kid coming up from Camden who was injured by a stray bullet in a completely wrong place, wrong time shooting.
I was walking next to the store and a guy came running out the alleyway with a gun, and somebody else was running away from him, and they told me to duck down and go somewhere. And so I looked towards the guy and he shot me in my temple. Oh, wow. And it came out my left eye.
So often when we're out on the golf course, we have to play the ball where it lies, and that's going to be different depending on each of us where we put the ball with our last shot, and we're each going to be confronted by different challenges and obstacles. And I think that learning to persevere and learning to work through those challenges is crucial.
I think it was one day I was sitting in my house and my mom went to go open the door, and Mr. Norman was at my door, and he came out to my house and started talking about golf with me.
We get the clubs, but the clubs are just not good for themselves. Norman takes the clubs, fits the child individually, and then cuts them down to fit each child that's in the program, so that they know that they have the proper clubs. And when they get older, he'll take the clubs that they have, give them to a smaller child, and give them new clubs when they get bigger.
And I just remember as a little kid thinking, wow, this is the real deal. I'm gonna do something here.
The thing that's so amazing is that I could see when I was younger, so I know what a golf course looks like. Patrick never saw the golf course. That's why it's even more amazing that he could know where to hit a ball, know what's happening on the course, and get that same feeling.
I remember watching it evolve, and I remember thinking at one point, he looks like a golfer. He has a golf swing, which was just incredible to me because I thought he's never seen a golf swing. This guy built a golf swing in Patrick without ever seeing it. And I mean, it just amazed me that he was able to do that. And the lessons that he's been able to pull out of golf have just been outstanding.
My hopes are that Patrick is able to achieve whatever he would like to achieve.
And I hope he can keep that smile on his face. I hope he can continue to be happy and be successful and do whatever he wants.
If I could pick one of my favorite things from golf, I would say it's the sound. Whether it's the sound of a well-struck drive or the sound, this is my first favorite thing, is the sound of the ball when you've hit a long putt and it's quiet and you hear that little clink when it drops into the hole and you know that that was a well-struck putt and that you just finished up a great hole of golf. I think that's one of the great things about the game.
He identifies himself as a golfer, and I see him as a golfer. When you see him out there, you see him making these shots and you think, I can't hit those. You know, he'll roll one up there and you think, you know, he's a golfer. He's just a golfer. It has nothing to do with blindness. The disability doesn't stop him. But it doesn't really stop him in most things that he wants to do. It doesn't define him.
I think that it may be time to transition to a newer, bigger set, and I hope that I can maybe donate these back to you and you can give them to some young left-hander who's up and coming, because I think that these babies still probably have a few wins left in them.
It's interesting that we started you when you were 9 years old.
Yeah.
And it took you 5 years to get your second set, and another 5 years you got your third set.
Yeah.
And I don't think you'll need a bigger set after this.
The Mid-Atlantic Junior Blind Golf Association is a great, great program, and I really can't say enough about the opportunities that it has afforded not only me, but so many other young blind students in the area who are now being exposed to the game of golf and who are now realizing their full potential, not only as golfers, but also as people in general.
Patrick, you're reaching out, and you're a terrific example of what can be done.
Thank you. I really can't count the number of doors that golf has opened for me. I think it's a great game because, in a way, golf mirrors life. As long as you're willing to work hard and put in the time, you can succeed no matter what obstacles are in your way. The key, in golf and in life, is not obsessing over the bad shots, but focusing on the good shots. After all, those are the moments that get you back out on the course for another round.
Well, as you can imagine, Patrick's story is one for all of us to remember. By the way, a little update on Patrick. He received his bachelor's degree from Muhlenberg and now is currently studying law at Widener University. And the Blind Golfers Association, it's working and spreading its message not only in the Mid-Atlantic states, but to several states around the country. Coming up next, our Teed Off panel. You know, there may be an apparel controversy coming to the PGA Tour. They'll talk about it next, right here on Inside Golf.
John Daly in shorts on national TV.
Well, that's the thing.
Is not going to be such a good look.
Welcome back. Inside Golf continues from the beautiful Valley Forge Casino Resort in King of Prussia. And it's time for our Teed Off panel. Today consisting of Mr. Ken Dunnick, former Eagle.
Good to be here.
Now the publisher of Philly Man. And go ahead. A little self-promotion.
Folks, a little promotional shot
Philly
here.
Man and Jersey Man.
Yep, thank you.
Ken is no stranger to Inside Golf. Also have Scott Riley, head professional at Philadelphia Country Club. Good to see you again, Scott. And Dom Giordano holds down the fort on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to a little bit after 12 noon.
Depending on tee times, right?
Depending on, yeah, you could be anywhere on the East Coast by 2 o'clock.
Exactly.
Let's talk fashion. Fashion is a big part of golf. You as a head professional, you know what it's like. Your inventory goes off the mannequins and off the shelves quickly, I'm sure, when a new product line comes out. My son once told me, Dad, 98% of the game is how you look.
That's right.
Okay? In my case, then I got no chance. But here's the deal. We've seen some new fashion trends. In fact, Scott, over in Europe, the European Tour has agreed to allow the touring pros, at least during practice rounds and pro-ams, to wear shorts.
Yeah.
That was something that never was considered among touring pros. Long pants at all times.
Yeah.
What's your feeling? Are they just catching up now with trends and say, hey, now's the time to do it?
Yeah, I think they're trying to continue to allure the sport to people, and some people thought, I think, that, you know, hey, it's pants and it's just, you know, I have to maybe look like that. And I think that the more they can get some of the tour players to, you know, just look casual and look like the everyday golfer, it's going to help out. I mean, Europe definitely a little fashion forward. There's no doubt. We've seen some of the loud outfits, you know, come from some of the European players on our tour over here. But yeah, it's interesting. I always felt like maybe in the hotter climates, we might see that more. You know, if you're in Asia or somewhere like that, and the temperatures can be 100 degrees plus. But it's interesting because it's practice rounds, it's pro-ams. We don't really see that at all on TV. It's going to be interesting to think if it'll make its way here.
They're inching toward it, but so far they're going to keep it kind of under control. What's your thought about it?
I like the idea because I like to see golfers more as athletes, and I think this kind of plays into it. But then again, there has to be a limit. John Daly in shorts on national TV
that's the thing.
is not going to be such a good look.
Somebody's got to tell them.
Yeah, exactly. There have to be certain guys.
Not a good idea.
But I could see this, and Jordan Spieth is one of the guys leading this. I could see this as a coming trend, and I think people will like it. I don't think they think this is something that's inappropriate for golf.
So you're in?
You're
in. Kenny?
I'm all for it, but if you want to go the other way with this thing, think about the days back when Bobby Jones played where they actually had the tie on. And they're playing U.S. Opens in 100-degree weather, I'm assuming, back then. So, but hey, listen, whatever works, and we talked about demographics here. It's a younger demographic. We're trying to attract a younger demographic into golf, and the shorts thing might help.
Not the hat on backwards, though. Any guy with the hat on backwards, I'm against that. That's
and you would know more than anyone, Scott. I mean, there are certain
dress code.
Dress code, right? I mean, first of all, the shorts can only be so many inches above the knee, right?
Yeah.
No cargo pants, or do you?
Or no
some
cargo,
clubs,
yeah.
you're no cargo.
No cargo.
The hat thing is, I mean, hats have to come off when you hit the parking lot, right? Which I agree. You know, I mean, golf is a different game. Now, if you want to start bending things a little bit in order to attract, where do you draw the line? You know. Do you have these among younger members? Do they want to turn the hats around or what?
I don't think so much of that. I think there's a certain level of tradition that everybody loves. You talk about, you know, Mr. Jones and these people. So I do think when Thursday rolls around and I turn on CBS or the Golf Channel, I definitely want to see these guys in slacks, and I want them to look that part, and I want them to, you know, look, you know, like professionals that they are.
Well, and it's not only for the golfers, the competitors, but at certain clubs, like Augusta, for instance, they all wear the same outfits, the caddies I'm talking about, right? With the white coveralls.
Yeah.
I mean, other tour events, they don't have that requirement. They'll wear the bibs with the sponsor's name on it, but they're wearing shorts and everything, showing off their calf muscles or whatever.
Now, I'm assuming that technology has caught up with fashion, right? Because the pants that the pros wear actually are pretty well ventilated, aren't they? I mean,
they breathe. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. There's, you know, you have anything from a poly plant to a, microfiber type pants, which definitely are lighter, a little bit of, breathability to them.
I would have a khaki limit, though. The number of guys that can wear khakis in any one day. You know, if you're going to wear pants, let's branch it out. Somebody's paying you to wear your clothes. What's with the khakis constantly?
Big money.
Exactly.
Big money. Just for the record, Marty Hackle, who we all love, the fashion editor of Golf Digest, I ran into Marty a few weeks ago at the merchandise show in Orlando. I put the question to him. He had no problem with it. So if Marty Hackle has no problems with these guys wearing shorts, I'm sure it gets a pass. I mean, can you imagine the high tops with the shorts, the cargo shorts, and the hat turned around? It's coming. Dom?
If they're paying you enough.
Not in our lifetime.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
I think that has something to do with it, Scott.
Yeah,
I think that has a lot to do with it.
Exactly.
We'll be back. More of Inside Golf coming up in just a moment. The Valley Forge Casino Resort is the region's only full amenity gaming resort, and it's only seconds from the Pennsylvania Turnpike at King of Prussia. It features 600 slots, 50 table games, and there are nearly 500 guest rooms, plus 8 restaurants designed to meet all of your dining needs. So put the beautiful Valley Forge Casino Resort on your destination list.
In 2008, 13-year-old Lester Bell snuck through the fence of Cedar Crest Golf Course. That's where PGA professional Ira McGraw first met him. But back home, Lester had given up hope for a future. So Ira gave the young man a job, became his friend, and 3 years later, his legal guardian. Today, Lester's still golfing, and he hasn't given up since. The best stories end in thanks. Share your story at ThanksPGAPro.com.
Well, that's it for this week's edition of Inside Golf. Our thanks to Patrick Molloy for sharing his story and his love for the game of golf, to Norman Kritz and the Mid-Atlantic Blind Golfers Association, and the documentary produced by Steve McWilliams. Steve is with Mission Possible and is also the disability advocate at Villanova University. Remember, no matter how bad it's going for you out there, don't pick up and be inspired by the likes of Patrick Molloy. I'm Harry Donahue. See you next time right here on Inside Golf. Inside Golf, presented by Destination Montco Golf. 54 courses, 300,000 yards. Check them out at montcogolf.com. By Jersey Man Magazine, it's a Jersey way of life, and Philly Man Magazine, bringing it to Broad Street. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf.